He just
That's the thing that people don't understand when they watch fights. Like sometimes guys, this is one of the things about the rematch.
Tyson Fury is, when he does have a rematch, he performs so much better.
Jake Paul's power is not going to bother Anthony Joshua one bit.
What might be the most jaw-dropping rematch in combat sports history? A massive $700 million confrontation with Jake Paul? I'm not talking about some casual exhibition here, fellas. This is gearing up to be an absolutely brutal confrontation, where everything that matters in boxing is on the line. Skill, legacy, pride, reputation, all of it colliding hidden against anticipation, spectacle, and social media power. The stakes we're looking at here have literally never been higher in the annals of the sport. And trust me, when I say the entire world is about to witness history repeat itself in the most horrid, most controversial, and most talked about manner possible. This isn't just another combat announcement. This is a cultural moment that's going to define boxing for years to come. And is typical machismo and trash talk anymore. What we saw instead was pure denial. Complete social media meltdowns across every platform and literally countless excuses. Pouring out in interviews and posts, attempting to explain what happened. Fast forward to today. Right now, and the stakes have utterly skyrocketed beyond what anyone could have possibly imagined back then. Joshua isn't just casually consenting to some run-of-the-mill rematch here, not even close. What he's actually agreeing to is teaching a $700 million lesson to the entire world, proving once and for all that experience, dedication, and genuine professional skill can't be replaced by fame, followers, or viral moments. This rematch is going to be a statement. Your scale and magnitude of this rematch is absolutely staggering when you really pause and think about it. The first fight's purse was already astronomical, by any measure, with estimates placing it somewhere between $1,844 and $267 million, which is insane money for a single night. But no, we're talking about $700 million on the line. And the global stakes attached to that number are utterly out of this world. Streaming platforms are fighting each other for rights. Sponsors are throwing money at this affair, Licky Theers, no tomorrow. And brands from every industry imaginable are desperately attempting to attach themselves to this event. This isn't just boxing anymore in the traditional sense. It's evolved into a financial and cultural earthquake that's going to ripple through athletics, entertainment, and social media for years. We're talking millions upon millions of individuals watching live across the planet. Debates erupting online in every language. And a very single move that occurs inside that ring will be analyzed, dissected, replayed, and argued about for decades. It's the kind of once-in-a-generation spectacle that entirely blurs the line between traditional sport and massive global entertainment. The difference this time, though, and this is crucial to comprehend, is that skill, real boxing skill built over decades, is going to meet hype hidden with the entire world observing. I always said I would win this conflict, and I'm sat up here at the winner. You know, at the end of the day, I knew I was more competent than Jake Paul. I didn't have a lot of expertise at being the main event. You know, when out there, everybody was chanting. The whole world was watching this fight, and I showed everybody that I can come to the big performance and I can deliver. And that's the primary thing. Exactly. And I mean exactly where Paul labored last time. He's studied those tapes, broken down every moment, and he can exploit those weaknesses and transform this fight into a brutal showcase of white professional fighters who've dedicated their entire lives to the sport are in a completely distinct league of their own. Paul may bring tons of energy, enormous social media buzz, and incredible publicity that promotes fights. But Joshua brings decades of refined technique, devastating power, and that calm, calculated precision that only comes from living and breathing boxing your entire existence. We'll have to confront the hype head on. And when one guy isn't wanting to engage, it's really hard to pin them down and hurt them because they're not essentially contributing to the sport. No, we're supposed to be fighting each other, not, you running away from me and me having to sprint after you. Joshua's motivation. Paul, on the other hand, is facing what might legitimately be the fight of his life all over again. And the strain is immense. He'll attempt everything possible to bulk up even more, refine his technique with the best trainers money can buy, and hype his way into controlling the narrative through every media channel available to him. Social media campaigns are already gearing up. Press conferences will dominate headlines for months, and viral recordings are going to flood every platform imaginable. But here's the thing that matters most. The truth, the real truth about who's the superior fighter, will be proven inside those ropes when the bell rings. His first stoppage loss is looming large in everyone's consciousness. You can't eradicate that from history. And now, he's entering a scenario where both the stakes and the scrutiny are higher than they've ever been in his entire tenure. Every single error he made in the first conflict will be amplified and exploited. Every weakness will be targeted ruthlessly, and the entire world will be observing with cameras, capturing every second of what happens when hype meets preparation. The global reaction to this rematch announcement has been absolutely electric, spreading like wildfire across every cranny of the internet. The debate happening right now isn't just about who's going to win, though everyone has their prediction. It's about something much larger. It's about the evolution of boxing itself as a sport and as entertainment. Can a YouTuber with limited professional experience truly survive against a proven legend who's operating at peak form? Will this rematch establish a precedent for future crossover fights between traditional athletes and social media stars? The cultural stakes are enormous when you think about the broader picture. Fans strike every round, every moment of drama. Streaming numbers are going to completely shatter records across every platform. Betting lines will fluctuate wildly on every piece of news and training footage, as social media is going to explode with predictions, analysis, memes, and hot takes from every angle conceivable. This isn't just a conflict in the traditional sense anymore. It's a global conversation happening in real time about skill versus excitement, money versus legacy, and what it truly means to be a champion in the modern age. Anthony Joshua's acceptance of this $700 million stream match isn't just sports news that'll vanish in a week. It's a massive statement being heard around the globe. The lesson is crystal obvious for anyone paying attention. No amount of fame, no level of hype, and no amount of social media influence can ever replace the years of dedication, sacrifice, experience that true champions put in. Jake Paul may be a spectacle, a viral sensation, a marketing genius even, but Joshua remains the true professional, the proven legend, and the one who's establishing the standard for what authentic, real boxing is supposed to be. The world will watch this fight, talk about it incessantly, argue in comment sections, and speculate about every possible outcome. But at the end of the day, when all the noise dies down, the ring is the definitive judge. And history has already shown us very plainly which side of that judgment truly matters. When skill meets hype, then there's the mental warfare aspect. That's already underway, and this is just as essential as the physical preparation. Trash talk, hostile precedents, and social media storms are all part of the buildup that supporters are eating up. Joshua doesn't always play the psychological game overtly like some fighters do, but his reputation, his presence, and his track record speak volumes without him needing to say much. Every comment Paul makes trying to get under his skin, every viral clip he posts trying to control the narrative, Joshua is calculating it all, absorbing it, studying it, and converting it into fuel for training camp. The psychological aspect of this rematch is honestly just as intense as the physical proportion, with fans watching the tension escalate and develop almost as much as they're anticipating the actual fight itself. This mental chess match is part of what makes this rematch so compelling beyond just the action, larger than either of them alone. It's a bootlegacy, about professionalism, about demonstrating once and for all that legends don't just survive in the ring. They dominate in every sense of the term, and that dominance echoes through history. This rematch is a legitimate cultural earthquake that's unsettling the foundations of combat sports. Boxing used to be predominantly about championship belts, powerful punches, and the glory of victory in its purest trend worldwide, all bundled into one mega event. Millions of individuals around the world from every country and every background will tune in through Netflix, traditional PPV, and every streaming platform imaginable. They'll be observing as a traditional professional athlete with decades of experience squares off against an internet-born celebrity who built his identity through viral content. The conflict isn't just happening in the physical ring, it's happening in the culture itself, in how we define athletics, entertainment, and celebrity in the modern age. Joshua represents decades of grueling training, iron discipline, and real-world experience earned through blood, perspiration, and sacrifice. Meanwhile, Paul embodies hype, virality, and influencer power that's changed how fame functions in the 21st century. Together, whether they planned it this way or not, they're literally rewriting the rules of sports entertainment, and the world is witnessing every second of it unfold. It was arguably his best round because he did land a couple of shots, but equally, you could see what that was taking out of him to do that. He was dropping to his knees more and more. Purchasing time to try and recharge because you could tell, he was getting tired from all the running he was doing. Paul, naturally, time with million-dollar consequences. This isn't just about the money though. $700 million is undoubtedly it's about legacy that lasts eternally, pride that can't be bought, and global bragging rights that will be talked about for generations. All wrapped up in a spectacle that the world will never ever forget. At the heart of this entire saga, the fight marks a fascinating lesson in contrast that tells a bigger tale. Experience versus bluster. professionalism versus spectacle, dedication versus marketing, traditional values versus modern tactics. Joshua stands as the living personification of legacy, a powerful reminder that skill, preparation, and patience developed over decades can't be supplanted by shortcuts or viral fame. Paul represents the modern age of social media. Boxing, where virality and personality can open avenues that raw talent alone might never unlock. Beautiful, in a $700 million spectacle with all the glitz and glamour, the ultimate takeaway is beautifully simple and impossible to deny. Legends teach lessons that money can't buy, no matter how much is on the table. Every punch thrown, every round survived, every dramatic moment that transpires as part of a story that will be referenced, analyzed, and discussed about for years and probably decades to come. The build-up we're seeing right now is already cinematic. Everyone has chosen a side. Everyone has an opinion, but only the ring will decide what actually transpires and it matters most. And when that moment finally comes, when the opening bell sounds and the fight begins, it won't just be about who wins on the scorecards or who gets their hand raised. It will be about who proves beyond any doubt that hype, no matter how vociferous, can't replace heart. Can't replace skill and can't replace the relentless grind and dedication of a genuine legend who's put in the work when nobody was watching. Obsessed, Anthony Joshua, not competitive for the opposite reason. He's absolutely not expected to win, and it wasn't. He stacks the chips too significantly either way. And because of that, we never actually get to find out how excellent Jake is. And part of that, I